When we think of the Victorian era, images of rigid manners, tight corsets, and a society deeply obsessed with respectability often come to mind. It's easy to imagine Victorians as prudish, upright, and always adhering to strict moral codes. Yet beneath this polished surface, a world of hidden desires and secret indulgences thrived. Despite their reputation for upstanding behavior, Victorians had their own set of vices and obsessions, skillfully concealed from public scrutiny. Many substances we now recognize as addictive were then marketed as medicinal remedies, fostering a myriad of covert dependencies. Join us as we explore the peculiar obsessions that captivated the Victorian imagination and shed light on a world that was as intriguing as it was unconventional. Mummy tasting parties. Picture this: Victorian London's elite gathering for a peculiar yet trendy soiree, a mummy unwrapping party. Though consuming mummia, a supposed medicinal product from Egyptian mummies, had historical roots, the Victorian era's Egyptomania transformed it into a grotesque obsession. When they tired of more common diversions, the wealthy would convene for mummy-tasting parties, where Egyptian mummies served as morbid delicacies. Europeans believed these ancient remains held curative powers, capable of healing ailments and extending life. At these macabre gatherings, under the cloak of aristocratic secrecy, guests treated mummies like a banquet, nibbling on the ancient flesh. The inaugural event was hosted by English surgeon Thomas Pettigrew in 1821 under the guise of scientific curiosity. However, the peculiar practice swiftly gained popularity among London's nobility. Without the aid of social media, word of Pettigrew's party spread rapidly. By the 1830s, to manage the craze, Pettigrew became increasingly selective and held his events in secret, adding an aura of exclusivity. The addiction lingered for decades, attracting more aristocrats until it eventually faded into obscurity. The sweet evolution. During the Victorian era, the consumption of sugar underwent a dramatic transformation, evolving from a rare luxury to a daily necessity for many. With the expansion of the British Empire and advancements in industrial production, sugar became more accessible and affordable. This shift led to an unprecedented surge in sugar addiction among the Victorian populace. From sugary teas to an array of confections, sweet treats infiltrated daily life and became a hallmark of Victorian social gatherings. The burgeoning obsession with sugar wasn't without consequence. As the demand for sugary products soared, so did the production of sweetened goods, including jams, candies, and desserts. However, this sweet evolution had its darker side. Excessive sugar consumption led to widespread dental issues, earning Victoria, England, a reputation for poor dental health. Furthermore, the sugar industry itself was heavily reliant on slave labor, particularly in the Caribbean, highlighting a grim aspect of this addiction. Despite the adverse effects, Victorians embraced sugar with fervor. Cookbooks of the era were filled with elaborate recipes for cakes, puddings, and other sugary delights, reflecting the era's insatiable sweet tooth. Forbidden literature. In an era marked by strict moral codes, Victorians found a thrilling escape in forbidden literature. While society paraded its propriety, many secretly devoured scandalous books and pamphlets that pushed the boundaries of decency. Ranging from suggestive poetry to explicit tales, this hidden collection challenged the era's sexual and societal norms. The allure wasn't just in the content, but in the silent rebellion it embodied. Reading these taboo works became a private act of defiance, offering an imaginative sanctuary far from the rigid rules of daily life. Publications often carried pseudonyms to evade prosecution, and readers disguised these forbidden gems behind innocuous book covers, savoring their secret literary indulgence. Arsenic mania. In 1858, Bradford, England, witnessed the tragic consequences of arsenic poisoning. Humbug Billy, a local shop owner, fell ill after sampling his store's Daff mixed sugar. Unbeknownst to Billy, his supplier had mistakenly sent arsenic powder instead of Daff. Regardless, Billy sold the lethal batch at a discount, putting 2,000 lives at risk. Fortunately, the town crier alerted the public to the poisoned sugar in time to prevent a catastrophe. Still, the damage was done. 21 people lost their lives, and 200 more needed treatment for poisoning. This was just one incident in a society pervaded by arsenic. From domestic pesticides and fabric dyes to wallpapers and cosmetics, arsenic infiltrated daily life despite its well-known dangers. Astonishingly, products containing arsenic were marketed for skincare and libido, reflecting how deeply the poison had embedded itself into Victorian culture. Women striving to achieve the painted lady look, an extreme pale appearance, used cosmetics laced with arsenic, ammonia, mercury, and lead, making them vulnerable to diseases like tuberculosis. Families who adorned their homes with arsenic-laced wallpaper often faced respiratory illnesses. Despite its risk, the arsenic craze persisted, even aiding nefarious activities. Victorian women guilty of multiple murders often used arsenic, a tasteless, odorless, and easily soluble poison, to achieve their deadly goals. Forensic tests for arsenic poison were non-existent, allowing these crimes to go undetected for years. The era's hypocrisy on pleasures. Victorians outwardly boasted respectability, piety, and stringent moral codes, particularly regarding sexuality and pleasures. Deviating from these norms was scandalous, making public personas all about maintaining dignity. Yet behind closed doors, their lives told a different story. Brothels thrived, and both men and women indulged in pornography and erotic literature. This contrast between public virtue and private vice unveiled a complex relationship with pleasure, where societal restrictions only amplified the allure of the forbidden. Victorian hypocrisy on pleasures was no mere secret. It was acknowledged but largely ignored. Despite their official stance against morality, a booming industry thrived, catering to every hidden desire of the era's double-faced society. The forbidden fruit of Victorian hypocrisy. The Victorian age is often remembered for its moral high horse and repressed desires, championing respect, integrity, and piety. Yet under this facade lay a hidden world of prejudice and oppression, both domestically and in Britain's colonies. Despite their prudish reputation, Victorian Brits were remarkably hypocritical. Physical pleasure was big business in Victorian London, with about 9,000 registered ladies of the night in 1857. These women earned far more than any day jobs available, reflecting a truth that transcended even posh London to the farthest frontiers. Liverpool's Little Hill teemed with bordellos, themed to cater to various exclusive tastes. If Victorians were true champions of dignity, who paid these women to roam the streets nightly? The era was obsessed with clandestine love, a fact that was not lost even on Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, whose passionate relationship was an open secret. While society shunned openly discussing intimacy, it paradoxically expected women to be prolific childbearers. For the royal couple, having 9 children was more an excuse to be together than a pursuit of progeny. Queen Victoria's mental health suffered for her many pregnancies, but her love for Prince Albert kept her enduring. Their private escapades were legendary, even giving rise to euphemism like Prince Albert, rumored to be linked to a saucy birthday painting by the Queen herself. After Albert's death, rumors of Victoria taking a younger lover abounded. Even during Albert's life, a young man loitering around her quarters was once found with her secrets in his pockets.